What's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 13 of The Fade. I'm Luca Zima, joined by Steve Laurie, Ethan McLeod, Dylan Pupo, and Eddie Montanez. Let's jump right into it. This is my favorite time of the year when it comes to sports, with football, obviously. Free agency, trades, all this. Big trade. Jalen Ramsey to the Dolphins for a third-round pick and a tight end that only ever caught one pass in his career, Hunter Long. What's up with that? What's your guys' take on that? Are they in rebuild mode? Because I mean, they got rid of Bobby, Leonard, Floyd. What's going on there with the Rams?
Think he's just a massive cap casualty, dude, at this point for them because, like you said, they cut Bobby Wagner too. Now they're getting rid of Ramsey. His contract was like $90 million. I'm pretty sure. Like it was like a 4-year, 5-year, $90 million contract. I'm not completely sure, but that's a lot of money when, like Luke just said, you're trying to be like in a rebuild stage. You know what I mean? But Miami, man, they're loading up. Like the all I have to say about that is practice for Miami, dude. Tyreek on Ramsey, they're probably going to be fighting. Like on Ramsey's just got a head. I love Jalen Ramsey. Honestly, he's my favorite corner in the league. But he just has a head full of steam, man. Honestly, and he's just the type of dude that's just like gonna get mad when because Tyreek's so fast. You know what I mean? He's gonna have times when he burns them at practice. You know what I mean? And Jalen's type of dude that's going to take offense to that, and he's going to end up saying the wrong thing. And I can just see it now. There's going to be some type of dispute in the summertime, man, with Ramsey and Tyreek. But off of that, then on the other side, you have Xavier Howard, dude. Like, there's no question about who has the best corners in the league anymore. It's Miami. You know what I mean? That's two of the top 6 corners in the entire league. You know what I mean? And then just that whole defensive backfield, man, too. They're just starting to really load up. Like they have Bradley Chubb too, and which is going to make some noise this year too, man. So we'll see what happens with Miami, but I like them, man. They're a young team in the at the end of their rebuild stage right now. You know what I mean? And they're going to start making big time plays here. They really are, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do because they haven't been really good for the past decade, and it's nice to see them have this little spark that they got going.
Yeah, Miami, I think they absolutely finessed the Rams. I mean, the Rams, they were looking to get rid of Ramsey because they're minus in cap space. So, like Steve said, he was a major cap casualty for them. Uh, and I guess a third round pick is all it really took, and a random tight end because I mean that's not much to get a top 5 cornerback in the league who's in his prime right now. So for the Dolphins, that's great. They're making moves to really really make a push. Like I could see them contending this year. Uh, quarterback is obviously up in the air with Tua's situation. Who knows? They might even be able to get Brady still. There's rumors about him coming back, and Miami was always a spot that people saw him going to, and there was always talks like the past couple of years about him going there. Um, so I mean, the Dolphins they're looking solid. The Rams, on the other hand, after how last year went, I think I think they're I think they're entering a rebuilding stage here, getting rid of their veterans, and we'll have to see what they do next from this point out. But they should still be decent this year. I don't know about playoffs, but we'll see what they do in the draft and what kind of other moves they make in free agency. So it should be interesting to see.
Well, you know what's happening to the Rams right now is they did what the Eagles did this year, where they went all in 2 years ago. It panned out for them, but now it's like, all right, now we got to figure something. Even especially after last year, I don't even know why they attempted to go get Bobby Wagner last year. I mean, and they went and got Allen Robinson and stuff. Like, I understand trying to go and like run it back, but like at this point now they're just trying to make money. Like they got rid of Bobby, just released them. Now they're trading away Ramsey. That's all it was. It's just a money move. It's not people are saying they got robbed. Like, dude, you're not going to give a guy away that's worth that much money for a first rounder. It's just not going to happen. I mean, Miami's going all in with Tua at this point, which I don't like. That's, I mean, this might hurt Miami in the long run. Everyone's like, "Whoa, they're loaded now." Like, dude, a lot of people have questions around Tua, and if Tua is going to be there to run this thing, you better hope it's I think it was a Miami versus Jets game last year where it was 9-6. You better hope that's what it is, because I'm not a fan of Tua. I know a lot of people aren't, and they might end up 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, trading away all these players again so that they can make some money to try and rebuild again.
It's a good take.
Oh, I definitely think the Rams got fleeced. Jalen Ramsey didn't have one of the best years last year, but I definitely think he's still a top 5 corner in the league. He's going to accompany Xavier Howard so well, and how both Laurie and McLeod said that they have Bradley Chubb as well as linebacker. So their defense is really good. They also have Jalen Phillips, who they drafted as a safety last year, as a rookie last year, but they used him on the edge a lot, and he was really good on the edge last year. I think he had about 7 sacks. He's just really fast, so I definitely think this Miami defense is going to be real good. It's with the adding of Ramsey. I thought they were good without Ramsey, to be honest, but adding Ramsey just helps Xavier so much. I definitely think, how Laurie said, they definitely have the two best cornerback duo in the league. And with the Rams, they bought a championship to LA last year, and it's not only with football. I see this in a lot of sports. Once a team wins a championship, they end up rebuilding and losing a lot of players, because when you win a championship and the players know that they contributed, they're going to want a big contract after that championship, especially if they're a free agent. It's not only in football, this happens in baseball and basketball as well. So I definitely think that the Rams are going to be in rebuilding mode for the next couple of years, but I definitely think that they're not going to get rid of Kupp, because they know that Kupp is a generational talent. He's an absolute monster. And they have Stafford this year. I don't think that's really going to matter. I think Stafford's going to hang him up after this year. So I think after this year, they're going to be in looks for a quarterback and a bunch of pieces, because they are definitely in a rebuild. I don't see this team doing much in the next 3-4 years unless they really do big signings or big trades.
I just think iron sharpens iron. You know what I mean? Xavier Howard and Ramsey only are only going to make Waddle and Tyreek better. Plus, you have Gesicki still there, right? You have all these guys. They just signed Mike White too, from the Jets, so that's a good signing in case Tua gets hurt, because Mike White showed a lot of good signs with the Jets last season. I think the Dolphins are only going all in. Not only going all in, but they're readying for the future as well. It's just going to come down to their quarterback. They let Chase Edmonds go, and they brought in Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson played tremendous last year when he switched over to Miami. Even when he was playing with the Niners, he was playing good. But once they made that trade, so I think they have a very good offense, a very talented defense. And, I mean, that division's only getting more insane, dude, because I guess we're going to be seeing in the next couple weeks, we'll talk about this next episode, Aaron Rodgers possibly coming over there. So that division is only going to bolster up the competition with Rodgers with the Jets, Josh Allen with the Bills, Tua and Mac Jones. So I can see that being one of the toughest divisions in football. Going off of that, we've seen Jimmy G finally left San Fran, and he went over to the Raiders. Now, they signed him. It's about a $20 million a year deal for 3 years. I could have sworn that they were going to go in and get Stroud or Levis in the draft. Obviously, that still leaves a possibility open for Jimmy G to mentor them for a season or two. I don't know where this leaves Devontae Adams, if he's going to be pissed off that Rodgers now, that just puts Rodgers definitely out of the way. So what's your guys' take on that? Do you think Jimmy G could do anything in Las Vegas or lead them to the promised land?
I mean, I wouldn't say lead them to the promised land, but I definitely think he could do something over there. I mean, look at the talent they have on the offensive side of the ball. You know what I mean? They have Darren Waller, which in my opinion, he's still a top 3-4 tight end. I said it on the one episode. He's still good, man. He just hasn't really had his way this year with Derek Carr because Devontae Adams came in. But they have, pretty sure they tagged Josh Jacobs, right? So they'll have him for another year. They obviously have Devontae. Like there's some serious weapons around Garoppolo, man, that he can definitely perform with them. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna lie though, like I really wanted to see Anthony Richardson in a Vegas jersey, man, bad. Like I just thought I really thought that was they were gonna end up drafting him, but it's all right. He'll probably end up going to the Colts, Anthony Richardson, but yeah, Garoppolo, that's a good fit for him for sure because now he can really exploit his talent with the talent that he has around him. So I'm excited to watch it, man. There's a lot of cool things that happened today in free agency that I'm excited for.
So, my point of view, I'm not really sure what the Raiders are doing. They go from a guy, Derek Carr, who's, borderline Pro Bowler almost every year, and they dump him. They say, "Oh, you're not playing up to what we like." And they dump him, and then they go out, and who do they sign? A guy who has literally been carried by his team for the past 4 years. And the question was always with the 49ers, could Garoppolo go out and not make mistakes and let his team win the game? Garoppolo is never a guy who's going to go in the game and go win it himself and go play hero ball. He's just not that type of QB. So for the Raiders situation, I think it's a pretty bad signing. I think they should have went out, got a rookie, started fresh, not paid a quarterback $20 million a year who isn't going to take them to the playoffs. I think they'll be 6-11, 5-12 around there again. I don't know, because I mean, if things don't work out with Derek Carr and Devontae Adams, I don't know how they're going to work out with Garoppolo and Devontae Adams. Like Garoppolo, he has George Kittle, and he gets him 3 or 4 targets a game. Deebo Samuel, 5 targets a game. Like obviously their offense is built around rushing, but like Garoppolo, he just ain't it. I don't think it's going to work out there.
So I absolutely love this move by the Raiders. I don't know. You guys might think I'm nuts, but I'm really for it. I like Jimmy G. I think Jimmy G is very underrated. I think a lot of people hate on him. I think he's a great game manager. And if you put weapons around him, he's going to make plays and he will help you win games. The guy's been to the Super Bowl. He led Mahomes in the fourth quarter in the Super Bowl. He's been to multiple NFC championships with the Niners. Now, granted, that is the Niners with weapons, but he's also going to an offense with weapons. So, like, they might not be great, but, like, this next year, I think they'll be actually pretty good, though. You got a $67.5 million deal, including $34 million guaranteed. 34 is easy to let go if it don't work out. So, I mean, I honestly, I love the move because it's not a lot in the future, and it's really like the cheapest deal you're going to get for an above-average quarterback. So I'm all for it. I think he'll do well with the offense, and go Raiders.
And also, if they do draft someone, they can keep Garoppolo behind him for not too expensive to mentor him.
See, yeah. I don't think they're going to go out the first day of free agency and get a quarterback that they're not going to play. You know what I mean?
No, definitely. I think Garoppolo is going to come in there as the day one starter.
Yeah.
I don't think he was signed there for. I mean, hence it is only $20 million, but what backup really gets paid $20 million? None. You know what I mean? You're not signing a backup right away for $20 million. So yeah, he's definitely coming in there as the day one.
Do you think he's that much worse than Derek Carr?
Yeah.
I like Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr is underrated as well. But like the thing that Jimmy better than Derek
Carr. Derek Carr got what from the Saints? He got like what, 30 or 40 mil? 35 million from the Saints?
He got 30 some.
Yeah, I think it was like
$1 million guaranteed.
Oh, I think there was 100. Wait, what'd you say? 100 mil?
I think 100 something mil guaranteed, or maybe 100 million guaranteed.
Yeah, he got most of it guaranteed too. So he's locked there for the next 4 years, I think.
Yeah, 4 years. 50 mil.
The thing that Jimmy G's better at than Derek Carr is not turning the ball over. I think Derek Carr like gets sloppy at times.
Yeah, tries too much.
Yeah, and so I mean, I don't know. You're getting Jimmy a lot cheaper. Would you take Jimmy G? Well, I know you take Daniel Jones, but with their contracts right now, who you taking?
Mm,
With
would
the
you-
contracts, I'd take Jimmy G.
Yeah, I would. I'd absolutely rather Jimmy G with that contract.
yeah.
But he's getting paid half of what Daniel Jones is. And
Yeah.
I don't think Daniel Jones is that great. Not for that kind of money. For
Garoppolo and Carr are both better than Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I don't like Daniel Jones. I don't know where that signing came from or why. I believe, dude, that Daniel Jones is not worth $45 million. You can kiss your ass that. You know what I mean? That's
boost the quarterback.
I absolutely love it. Boost the market up and let Jalen Hurts get more money now.
That's what sucks about it is because it's the same thing with all these guys, like even Kenny Galladay getting that big deal, dude.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? These guys are getting all this money, and then it just boosts the market up for guys who are like, oh my God, Daniel Jones got this. But what's crazy is then if I was in Derek Carr's shoes, I would have been saying, you know what, why ain't I getting what Daniel Jones is? I'm a Pro Bowler every season. I've been playing I've had 4,000-yard seasons every season I played, basically. It's I don't know. Jalen Hurts is going to command 45 million and with ease. Without ease now, he's getting 45 million.
And that's why they say, like, an organization, you want to sign your QB as soon as you possibly can because the next person to get signed, that means you're paying your guy more. Every time someone else, and if they keep waiting and Rodgers goes, and I know he's getting traded, but I don't know if they're doing a sign and trade.
No, because he's still on that big deal. What made him the highest paid QB?
Yeah, he made a lot last year. I think he signed.
What is it? A $51 million a year or something like that?
He signed like 3 years, dude. Like a
He's
couple,
number one,
like 50 mil or something.
Okay,
Yeah,
so Lamar signs.
Lamar was the worst thing they could have done was not sign him in the beginning of last season.
Yep,
when he was commanding all that money.
because
It wasn't commanding that much.
His value is going up every day.
Yeah.
But it might be going up too high to the point where they're not even trying to get him anymore.
It's crazy.
No, because they already transition tagged him, which means that when he can go out there and talk to teams, and then the Ravens have 5 days to match their offer. Now, why teams are backing out of that point is because right now in free agency, no teams are actually pursuing Lamar Jackson. Not one team. Every team backed out because if you go and match Lamar, that means for those 5 days that the Ravens get to match, you're ultimately not going and negotiating with any other quarterbacks or any other players at that point if you're offering them that big of a contract. So you don't want to put yourself in a hole in case the Ravens do match that. And say they don't match it, you're giving the Ravens 2 first-round picks then. So you're losing 2 firsts anyways, or you're losing 5 days of free agency for players.
What I think will happen with all that. What happened with Lamar's like stuff that you were saying, how like not the Falcons, the Ravens franchise tagged him. I think that he'll be a Raven probably for 1 more year, and then I think that the Falcons are gonna just start Ritter this year, see what he could do, and then next free agency they're gonna give Lamar the bag. Because I definitely think that with Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and like there's a lot of young, like underrated people on this Falcons. They have really fast receivers. They have Kyle Pitts, obviously, who was a big name out of college, and he hasn't really done anything the past 2 years because of the quarterbacks he's had. So I definitely think that this year that they're just going to ride out. They're going to ride with Ritter. I think Lamar's probably going to end up a Raven. Going to just stay a Raven for this year because I don't think any teams are going to try and give him anything, especially since like the Ravens can match what they offered, right?
Yeah, they can match what any other team offers.
Yeah. So I think Lamar will just stay a Raven for this year, and then he'll be a Falcon next year. But there's a lot of like the QB play in the NFL is not like you said. I'm a Giants fan, and I don't think Daniel Jones is worth 45 mil. Like that's just ridiculous. So, like I definitely think that teams are going to be all over Lamar next year. I don't think that they're going to go after him this year just for the plain fact that the Ravens can match whatever they offer. And like we're talking about Jimmy G, how Dylan said, I like what they're doing, and what you said to Luke. They might have signed him as a mentor. Like even if he doesn't pan out this good, they got him they could get rid of him cheap. I feel like what they should do, in my opinion, is during day 3 maybe go out and get Max Duggan from TCU, and then put him behind Jimmy G, and then maybe Max Duggan could because like we saw Brock Purdy came in and won 6 games, but Jimmy G was his mentor for like 3 games. For the games that he was in, and plus the whole offseason. So I definitely think even though Jimmy G's probably going to start the season, put Max Duggan under your wing, and he could probably be the next big thing in Las Vegas, especially with Devontae Adams. That's why I like what Dylan was saying. I don't really think it's a big of a risk just for the plain fact that offense is gross. How Laurie said, they have a top 3 tight end. They have Devontae Adams, who's arguably the best receiver in the league. You throw the ball up to him, he's catching it no matter what. Like it's disgusting what that man could do. So I definitely like the signing, and I definitely think what they should do is just go out and get Duggan day 3.
I wouldn't be surprised though if CJ Stroud, if he don't go first overall to the Panthers, I would not be surprised seeing Stroud as a Raider or a Colt. Or because I think the Texans are dead set on Bryce Young, and I think why the Panthers ultimately ended up trading up for this pick was because they seen something in Anthony Richardson or CJ Stroud. And I think it's more or less going to be like, wow, Anthony Richardson just went first overall. He's the closest thing to Cam Newton, dude. And he impressed at the combine.
They could have possibly got him though with their pick that they already had. Carolina.
Oh yeah, definitely. But you got to think, dude. There's 32 teams in the NFL. Every other team seeing what they're seeing too.
No,
you know what I mean. You got to think at that combine, every GM's there.
I hope it is Richardson because I like Anthony Richardson a lot. I've liked him since last year, dude. Remember when he had that one crazy play, man, that was blowing up on the internet? I forget what he did. He like fake threw it or something and ran. And ever since then, I've been a major fan of Anthony Richardson. I would love to see him go first overall, but what makes me think that it's CJ Stroud is that because they made such an effort to trade up to that number 1 pick. You know what I mean? They traded a lot for that. You know what I mean? Like they got rid of DJ Moore.
And I said that for the last couple of weeks. I said when you have that first overall pick, you literally hold the world in the palm of your hands. Right.
You can look at that. Any one of these kids, man.
Dude, all they did was move back to the 9. They got the 9th pick, the 61st pick, a first in 2024, a second in 2025, a great player in DJ Moore. Young, he's only 25, 26.
And
he's an absolute
core. That Chicago.
He's an absolute beast.
I feel like with those picks, with those picks they got, they're probably just going to go out and get linemen for Fields because what I think is Montgomery's a free agent.
They're rolling. They're going to roll with who's that guy?
Khalil Herbert. I like Khalil Herbert. I liked Khalil Herbert last year. I thought he was pretty good. He had a couple 100-yard games. I definitely think what their biggest priority right now, especially since they got Tremaine Edmonds for the defense, is to get an old line to help Justin Fields because I see a lot of people predicting that this man could win an MVP, and I honestly think he can too. I feel like he's very similar to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is obviously better, but Justin Fields' legs are insane. Like he almost broke Vic's rushing record, which is crazy. So I definitely think that, and they added DJ Moore, which helps their receive. Like they have DJ Moore, who's a solidified wide receiver one in the NFL. They have Chase Claypool, who's a big body, and they have Darnell Mooney, who they could just put in the slot and he could just run straight and burn the hell out of the safety or corner that he's on. So I definitely think that the number 1 priority right now in Chicago is to beef up that O-line for Hurts. I mean, not Hurts, sorry, Fields.
I was just gonna say that, Eddie, dude, and you know that I'm not a fan of Justin Fields, but with that receiving core and all these weapons that they're adding, man, that priority definitely has to be the offensive line right now because you see the way that Jalen Hurts panned out. You know what I mean? When everybody doubted him, now that same thing could very well happen to Justin Fields if they take this offseason seriously, and it looks like they are, man. It's only Monday, and they've made some serious moves today. You know what I mean? Like they still have this whole week to come. You know
Especially
what I
on
mean?
the defensive side of the ball. They
Right,
just signed
right.
TJ Edwards and
Yeah,
Tremaine
Tremaine
Edmonds.
Edmonds, dude, that's huge. That's huge. I mean, TJ Edwards too, but like Tremaine Edmonds is really good. So yeah, I'm excited to see what Chicago does. There's a good amount of Bears fans around here.
Well, because Darnold left the Panthers. He went to San Fran. Don't know what that means for him. Why he ultimately went there because
He
Trey
probably
Lance.
just brought him in to compete.
Well, yeah, but Trey Lance is ultimately going to end up probably winning that job unless there's
Yeah.
something that we don't know that Darnold believes he can go in there and win because Purdy isn't going to come back till like halfway through the season or
I'm
like
not
week
sold
4
on
to
him,
6.
man, honestly. I don't think they
But
are.
the Panthers just said, dude, that they're willing to trade Matt Corral, their draft pick, their QB from last year, because they're ready. This is a QB they're taking in the first round with the first overall pick.
Yeah, well,
No question about it. But yeah, like Matt Corral, I was reading reports they'll get rid of him for like a second to like 4th, 5th pick, and I was hearing the Commanders might be sold on him, bringing him over, but they have Sam Howell, you know what I mean? But yeah, going off of that, we seen the Eagles
Can I
are
add
leaving. Oh yeah, go
Can I
ahead.
add something? I saw what you were saying about Bryce Young that he was there. You think he's going number 1, right?
No, I think it's Anthony Richardson and
Yeah.
CJ Stroud.
Yeah. Oh wait, yeah. CJ Stroud. My bad.
Yeah.
I definitely think Anthony Richardson's probably going to be a Panther just for the lone fact, like he reminds me so much of Cam Newton. Like the guy's massive, like he's huge. Like he was in the 99th percentile in athleticism. Like the guy's a monster. So I definitely think that if they could bring him over, if they could draft him for Carolina, Carolina's going to love him just for the fact that he. Like you could compare the guy to Cam Newton just for what like because of the size. His arm strength is ridiculous. He's pretty fast for being 6'5" and however big he is. Yeah, like he's extremely fast. So I definitely think that Anthony Richardson's probably going to go number 1. But I like CJ Stroud too because of the arm talent. But like I do like Anthony Richardson a lot. Like what I'm seeing from his combine and like he was really good for Florida last year. Like really good. I don't know why. I don't know how he wasn't in the Heisman race. So I don't know. But I definitely think in my opinion, I think they're idiots if they don't take Richardson first just for the fact that like he's huge, he could run, he could throw. CJ Stroud's obviously a beast, but I just think Richardson's going to plan out better.
Me too, man. I would love to see him go number 1.
Dylan, Ethan, you have anything to add?
The fact that he could jump means that he has more than Byron Jones has right now.
What, his legs?
But he was saying he's big, he's fast, like, and he could jump. We got to mention that now. Not everybody can do that.
I think he ran like a top 340 for all players.
That's crazy.
At 6'5" quarterback, that's
quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's worthy of the number 1 pick, like for sure.
I hope.
I think it's gonna shock the world when it happens too.
Dude, I would love to see it.
2 months ago, no one was talking about Anthony Richardson. It was Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Will Levis, no, never mind. Was I gonna say Stetson Bennett?
Yeah.
Stetson Bennett, mark my words, Stetson Bennett's gonna be a Patriot.
Yeah,
Dude, I could see it.
he definitely fits the bill for a Patriot.
Yeah, I could see that too.
Yeah, they're gonna have him be a Patriot, dude.
I can see Bill sitting there saying, "Wow, this is my guy."
I can see it, dude. Like he just fits that. He fits that whole build of being a Patriot, dude.
He does, dude. He does.
And he's old. He's like what, 26? Is he?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think he is 26.
But that's
Oh,
not
man.
right. Like, people are acting like that's the end of the world, dude.
No. But like
Like,
when you come to the
unless-
NFL, like most QBs need like 3-4 years to develop.
Last time we saw a quarterback drafted like that old
Was
Brand-
Dave Shinsky?
Brandon Whedon.
Oh, Brandon Whedon. Yeah, remember when Dave Shinsky played for Boston College?
Yeah.
He was He was in his like late 20s.
You were a massive fan of him too.
I liked watching Shinsky do it in college, man. Shout out to Dave Shinsky.
Maybe we'll bring him on.
But going off of that, we have the Bucks are expecting to pursue Baker Mayfield. I think I said this 2 or 3 weeks ago, dude, about Mayfield winding up as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Did I not?
No, I remember that you did.
I did. I said it would either be him or Gardner Minshew. What's so funny, Eddie?
Hasn't happened yet, buddy. Don't
What
get
do
on
you
your
think?
high horse yet.
What?
Don't get on your high horse yet. Hasn't happened yet.
I'm like I said, I'm out here making predictions. They're striking gold. They're there, man. I'm like a sidekick. I can see in the future.
Well, hey, I was saying the whole time since the season ended that the Bears they should keep Fields and trade the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
Well, that was obvious.
And yeah, but no one else is saying that.
I was, dude. I was
obvious,
saying that they
I
aren't keeping that, and I said to keep Fields. I said they're not keeping that first overall pick.
All right. Well,
And that's why Lovie Smith got his ass fired out of Houston because he had to go for 2 the last play of the game, and the last play of the season. Then they fired him literally 10 minutes after. He screwed Houston out of everything, dude.
What did you?
They're still going to get Bryce Young no matter what, dude. I don't think Bryce Young's going first overall. It's going to surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, I think there's
gonna ruin his career.
Question marks with his height, with his injury prone. You know,
Yeah.
I there's a lot of question marks with him. Obviously, he's a good player. I think Richardson and Stroud, they have better potential than him. I feel like he's already closer to his peak than they are.
Right.
Mm. Going off that, we talked about this absolute buffoon last week. An absolute just moron. Robert Woods was sitting there saying, "Where should I go? Free me. I'm finally free." Oh, just to wind up with the worst team in the league, the Houston Texans. You absolute clown, you bum. Whatever, dude. Chase the bag, go. But don't go tweeting free me. You know what I mean? Look at what they did to Brandon Cooks for the last 4 or 5 years. That goof.
It's funny too, dude, because I don't really think anybody wanted Robert Woods either. So he was probably just like Houston was one of his few offers that he got. You know what I mean? And obviously they offered him the most money, so he was just like, screw it. But yeah, he's nothing, dude. Robert Woods, you're a joke if you see this.
Well, I guess Robert Woods ain't never coming on Buzz Talk, but
Yeah.
but yeah, he probably got like 2 or 3 offers for like $5 million a year, and
neither is the captain from the Coltmont Cougars A team.
And you know he got his bag. Good for him, bud. Good for him. Making more than me. So go do you, brother.
What is this, a pity party out here, Ethan?
Hey, I have respect for the dude, man.
Ethan, what's your Venmo? You throw your Venmo up and everyone goes.
Yeah, Ethan McLeod 18. You know, anyone, help a brother out.
You ever see it was on the college morning sports or whatever, where the guy was holding up a sign that said Venmo me for my Busch Light, and then like he got like $250,000 or something. Like everyone just started Venmoing him, and then he ended up donating it to like a charity or something. But it was
That's
kind
what
of cool.
you did to get that Bass Pro Shops hat.
Yeah, $4.99 is tough to get. What's up with the Robert Woods hate though here? Everybody hates him.
Because look how he goes on social media, man, and talks like he can go wherever he wants, like he's a top-notch receiver. I'm absolutely with Luke on that, man. I don't like a dude that has a huge ego like that either, man. What has he done in the past 2-3 years. You know what I mean? He was a solid number one for LA for a little bit until Cooper Kupp got into his prime. You know what I mean? Which was obviously going to happen. But yeah, like he was nothing crazy, dude. Nothing crazy at all.
Yeah, I was just sick of him saying "free me" after 1 year with Tennessee, dude.
Like, what?
You know what I mean? And sorry that the Tennessee Titans wide receivers together might have combined for a little over 1,000 yards altogether. It was a joke. And you know what I mean? And you can't blame Tannehill. But like when AJ Brown was there, they played really good, dude. AJ Brown was getting his 1,000-yard plus yards a season.
With
But like for Robert,
30 carries a game.
But for Robert Woods to go out there on Twitter saying finally free after just one season, and like Lori said, then he's acting like he's a top-notch guy, and dude, he's ultimately not. You know what? That probably was, and all the good teams, if they did offer him anything, they're like, "Oh, come for us on a vet min." But he's seen, dude, that he's gonna go and get what's that, like $7.5 million, a little over $7.5 million a season, 7.1 or 7.6 million a season. You know what I mean? So I would take that too, dude. He's not gonna go get that anywhere else.
That's what, yeah.
Sucks.
I want to fast forward a year from now, and y'all are gonna be like, "I'm sorry, Robert Woods." Nah, I don't think he's gonna be great.
Maybe
but I
if
think
he was with a different team.
No, I really think he's going to be better than he was last year, dude. I say this all the time, and you see it, and I said it with Gallup. The first year off the ACL injury is when you're at your worst, and the second year is when you get back to almost yourself. So he's going to get back to himself. Texans are going to get a quarterback, at least somebody that could give him maybe. I mean, it might work out, it might not, but hopefully they could draft a quarterback and get him the ball a little bit. And
it is smart. It is smart because Robert Woods in the past has shown signs, and they still have Cooks there. So if they're ultimately going to get, and Eddie knows these guys like Mechie, right? Is that John Mechie? Yeah, like guys like Mechie who've shown a lot of promise. They still have Dameon Pierce, you know. So their offense, if they ultimately do keep Cooks, and have Robert Woods as a solid number 2, it'll work out.
I mean, I would expect Robert Woods to improve from last year. The Titans' passing offense was terrible, and he had 53 receptions and 527 yards. Like, that's awful. Even with the Texans, I expect him to do better than that. You know, unless he just retires midway through the season because his old knees can't deal with it anymore.
He's like 30. Is he over 30 or
He's
is
like
he
31?
Is he 31? I knew he was down there.
Yeah.
The Texans are in like the same situation as the Bears. I feel like obviously they don't have a stud quarterback, but like their O-line is one of the worst in the league as well. Like Dameon Pierce was touching the ball 30 times a game, getting 80 yards. Like the guy was literally getting force fed. That's why he got hurt towards the end of the year, I feel. But like you got to think if they get Bryce Young, they need to protect him. Like I feel like it all, like a lot of people say this, it all starts up front. Like the big guys are like you need blocking to make a play. So even if they are to get Bryce Young, and like I definitely think how Ethan said, Robert Wood is definitely gonna have a better year than last year, I feel. But Bryce Young is gonna need protection. I don't know the only lineman I know on that team that's pretty good is Laramie Tunsil. So I feel like they definitely need an O-line for not only Bryce Young, if they want Bryce Young to be a great quarterback, but I honestly think Dameon Pierce could be one of the best running backs in the league if he has a good O-line to help him. So this Texans team needs a lot, but definitely how Luke said, the first thing they need is a quarterback. So I feel like they're going to take Bryce Young. But after that, their defense honestly wasn't bad. Like you saw what they could do against, like they had pretty good games against some teams.
They played pretty good against Philly.
Yeah,
it was a good game.
And Dallas and the Chiefs, all three of us.
Yeah, their defense
Probably
their
should
defense stepped up last year. So I feel like they're in the same predicament as the Bears, honestly. You need big guys to make the plays really. You need the big guys to make longer plays happen, not only for the quarterback to have more time in the pocket, but how I said like 2 minutes ago, I do think Dameon Pierce could be one of the best running backs in this league if he has an O-line to help him. He reminds me a lot of Marshawn Lynch. The guy's a monster. He's a freight train. So I definitely think in the next couple of years, if the Texans could play their cards right, they could go back to how they were with J.J. Watt, DeAndre Hopkins, and Deshaun Watson. They could be a playoff team if they play their cards right and put up and get the pieces they need.
Yeah, I'm heavy on Pierce in the beginning. I know you were in the beginning of the year, Eddie. You were really heavy on Dameon Pierce. I wasn't sold on him until I seen a couple good games out of him, and he is a beast. Going off that, I know Dylan wanted to get into this. Michael Gallup restructured his contract, saved up. I know Dylan knows. I think Dylan knows the details on it. Dylan, what does this mean for Dallas now with free agency right here? What's this mean with Gallup restructuring his contract? What are you thinking?
Well, they freed up $7 million today more. They restructured Dak's deal and Zach Martin's, so they got $30 million there. Now they just restructured Gallup's and got $7 million there. Plus, they didn't spend any money from last offseason, so they have money there. So they're kind of like just piling up the money right now. And, you know, I think the fact that they did it today on Monday, which is the first day of free agency, I think they were in talks, which they have come out and had reports that Dallas has been in contact with Bobby Wagner. Dan Quinn used to be the defensive coordinator for him. So they have a connection there. They already are in conversations. And I have a feeling that this move with Gallup has something to do with making up or freeing up some money so they could either sign Bobby Wagner or they might be going for the trade and getting D-Hop to come to Dallas.
Yeah, definitely. I think Bobby Wagner's either going to sign with Dallas or make a reunion for a final like 2 or 3 seasons with Seattle. I think Seattle wants him back. Seattle has a good defense coming up and a good offense, obviously. They've shown they squeeze into the 7th seed. I know that they were talking about, what do you like with this? I know they don't want to let Dante Fowler walk away. Are you high on Dante Fowler staying as a Cowboy?
I mean, he's not like going to be someone that's going to, like, if you lose him, it's going to, you know, destroy your defense. But I mean, I do like him as a playmaker. I don't know. I mean, I'm not too big. If they lose him, they lose him. I'm not going to be devastated. But if they keep him, cool. Just for the right price. Don't overpay for someone.
Yeah, I like Dante Fowler. I mean, not as a Cow. I like him. Any of you want to say anything about what the Cowboys restructuring? I think the restructuring could be because of Odell Beckham or D-Hop coming in.
I think it's definitely a receiver that they're trying to bring in, that they're trying to create room for, like you both just said. And I think D-Hop and Odell are 2 of the top candidates because there's been talks for a long time about Odell going to Dallas. You know what I mean? He wants the big deal. Dallas has the money to pay him this big deal. You know what I mean? They're looking for the number 1 receiver. Odell, it would just work out for both sides. Dude. But honestly, like I see Dylan, you're waving your hand over there.
Enough of this. They're looking for a number 1. They have their number 1, dude.
But CD plays better in the slot, dude. If you have a guy that can play on that outside and you can exploit CD Lamb in that slot, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? Dallas has the money to do it, so do it.
No, I know. That's why I love D-Hop so much. But I think it's that even if D-Hop comes, I honestly, I was even watching, you know, this podcast today, and these guys were even saying, like, even if D-Hop goes to Dallas, they don't even think he's going to be considered their number 1. Like, it's going to be CD still. They're going to be looking CD's way, but D-Hop's just going to help him out on the outside. He's still going to be great. Like, obviously, it's like the 1-2 punch. I mean, like, you know, with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, like, you know what I mean? Like, it don't really matter. They're both going to be super productive. It's just like one's considered the number 1, one's considered the number 2.
CD Lamb, dude, if he plays in the slot consistently almost every play, he would be a top 3 or 4 slot receiver in the entire league, man. I wanted Philly to. I'm serious. Like I wanted Philly to draft CeeDee Lamb, man.
No,
When he
I'm
was,
saying he'd be like a top 1 or 2, not 3,
dude,
4 slot
yeah,
receiver in the
maybe
league. He's a
3 maybe.
CD's a top 10 receiver the way it is
Who do you think?
overall
I
wise.
mean, yeah, but there's pretty good slot receivers. I mean, in my opinion, a healthy Keenan Allen is still a great slot receiver. So
Cooper
Cooper
Cup's
Kupp
by far
easily
the
the best
best.
slot receiver in the leagues. Yeah, that's
Is
what I mean. Like
I thought
3,
Keenan Allen's an outside receiver.
he plays in the slot a lot though, Keenan Allen.
Mm.
But yeah, like he's good. So like three is an ideal spot for CD. Like when you're talking about guys like that, and like D Hop is by far the best option for Dallas to bring in. You know what I mean? I mean, I hope they don't bring him in because I don't want to see Philly have to go up against him twice a year because I like rooting for him. I like Diop. I've always been a fan of him since he was back when he was a Texan, man.
I'm also seeing a lot of things with the whole Diggs things getting stirred up. Like, I don't know how real that is, but apparently Diggs really wants out of Buffalo at this point.
Which is kind of messed up, though, dude, to be honest, because after a couple games, you're just going to want out. You know what I mean? You were just all in on Buffalo when you were going there. Now, after you lose a couple games, he's had all this high praise. Now, all of a sudden, Stephon Diggs wants out. Like, you know what I mean?
I love Dez. Dez is recruiting for the Cowboys. He don't care who it is. He's trying to get Jalen Ramsey, D Hop. He's just telling everybody, let's go.
That's where I thought Ramsey was going to go. I thought he was going to go to Dallas.
I didn't. I said no. There's no team in the NFL that actually pays 2 like top market corners. Like you just don't do it.
People said talking about he would come to Philly, dude. There's no way.
That's why they're not going to go get another corner. They'll draft another corner, but they're not going to sign it one because they have to sign him next year. So
with Dallas, I feel like the past, I don't even know how many years with Dallas, there's always rumors of them making a big signing or a big trade or something. And like you see like people visit Dallas, like Odell, you see them go there and you see, oh, this might be happening, and it seems like it never does. So I think the move with Gallup restructuring his contract, definitely like they got to be doing something, right? Like they're not just doing it for nothing. They have to go make
making space for nobody. They're trying to bring a big dude in.
I guess we'll see. I don't think they'll go for Odell now. I think if they would have done that, it would have been last year. But I could see them going after Bobby Wagner or someone on the defense, like a linebacker. I feel like that's what they really need the most right now, if they're keeping Dak.
I know Odell just did. I know he just sent an email to like all the GMs in the league or scouts or something that he's doing a workout with some USFL quarterback Ryan Green or something like that. Sometime this week he's doing a workout or whatnot, but I don't know. I think ultimately that Dallas is all talk when it comes to getting like these receiver guys. I think Bobby Wagner is the most ideal free agent that we will see probably happen in Dallas. I don't know about these big wide receiver names. I know that the Bears are really keen right now on DeAndre Hopkins. That's the big rumor I've been seeing is that the Bears are in love with DeAndre Hopkins and want to bring DeAndre Hopkins over to Chicago. I think that would be huge. Yeah, I feel that that division with the NFC North, I think it is, with Green Bay, Chicago, the Lions, and Vikings. I think that division's opening up to where if Rodgers leaves, that division's opening up for it's going to be anyone's division right there. And I think ultimately it's going to come down to Detroit or Chicago. We've seen Minnesota and ultimately Green Bay, but Green Bay and Minnesota always battling for the top spot. I think it's going to work your magic to now. It's going to be the 2 bottom guys are going to start going in with Chicago and the Lions. I think the Chicago's next up. I think if Justin Fields plays good, like Eddie said, they get him a line. He's going to be there. Can Goff pull another good season off? Hopefully. I'm rooting for Jared Goff. I never was really that big of a fan of him up until these last 2 seasons, seeing the hate he got. But going off of that, we see now the Eagles let Darius Slay seek trade agreements with other teams. That hurt me a lot. I know that they wanted him to restructure his deal, and I don't think he's looking to restructure his deal. I mean, I don't really want to lose Darius Slay. I love Darius Slay, but at the same time, he's up there in age. I think he's 32 this season.
Mhm.
I want James Bradbury back. James Bradbury is like 27, 28. Played a hell of a year, all-pro. What do you guys think about letting Darius Slay get traded? Because he has no guaranteed money, so just don't come to bite the Eagles in the ass. If we let Darius Slay walk, we get $17 million under our cap bill. I think we definitely need that.
I mean, yeah, me too. I agree, but you can't blame Darius Slay for trying to get all the money that he can get right now. You know what I mean? Because he knows he's at the end of his career. He's a dad. He's came out and said that he's pretty sure he only has one more year left in him. You know what I mean? So just he wants to get that bag. You know what I mean? And he loves Philly. He's came out and said it numerous times. He loves Philly. He wants to stay here. I like Luke said, dude, I love Darius Slay, man. He's one of my favorite corners in the entire league. He's been for a long time. He's been a top corner in the league for a long time too. He's just getting towards the end of his career, and I'm curious to see what'll happen. Like Luke said too, it'll hurt me to see him walk, but then at the end of the day, it would kind of make me a little bit not happy, but like, okay, we got some cap room to work with here, so whatever, you know what I mean? We could do something with that, but I don't know. If he walks, dude, hats off to him. I hope you go to another contender, man, and I hope you make the best out of the end of your career and retire with possibly a championship if you don't stay with Philly and grab one here.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Steve. I think Darius Slay, if not on the Eagles, but in the NFL in general, only has a good 1 or 2 more years in him. If the Eagles were to let him walk, it would suck. But like the Eagles, they have bigger fish to fry. I think they have many. They have different areas where they need to really work out some contracts here. And Darius Slay, although he was the number 1 cornerback on the Super Bowl on the NFC champion team, he's 32 years old, and I don't know. I'm at least happy that Jason Kelce's coming back for another year, so that that warmed my heart, I guess.
He's happy about it too. You see him taking shots with Howie.
Yeah, I did. But
fired up.
I know it's very, very unlikely, but I'd much rather keep CJ Gardner-Johnson over Darius Slay, although he's like 99% gone.
I honestly don't think he's gonna walk, man. I think they're gonna come to an agreement with CJ. I really do, man. He's another one that loves playing Philly.
Yeah, but they just don't have the money for him.
Yeah, it is, and especially now seeing like what Jesse Bates got, dude. You know what I mean? What did he get? 66 mil.
Yeah.
CJ's projected. He's gonna probably be projected 70 mil now, 68 plus. You know what I mean? If Jesse Bates is getting that, all around, like me and Eddie were talking earlier, I think Jesse Bates is a better safety than CJ, but CJ had the better year. He led the league in interceptions, missing 6 games as a safety. You know what I mean? Like he's seeking money, dude. He's 25 years old. Yes, I would love to see him stay in Philly, but whatever, dude. Honestly, like you said, Ethan, whatever.
Dude, I don't think you guys realize, like, losing CJ and Slay, and Slay is a big one, and CJ, they're both huge. But if you lose both of them, you guys don't realize how much that's going to hurt you. Like, it really.
We do, kiddo.
Like, I know, but you guys are sitting here like, it's going to free up some cap space. Like, screw the cap space. I'm worried about losing. I mean, I'm not like trying to like sit there and bash it just because you're the Eagles, but like that's some big time like losses to your second.
We're not saying that we want them to go.
No, I know.
The thing is, Gardner Johnson as an Eagle until he retires.
Yeah, the thing is, if we don't get rid of Slay, we don't have the money for CJ.
Exactly.
So
Okay. But if you lose both.
Yeah, that would be trouble if we lost both.
I would rather lose Bradbury and Slay than lose CJ and Slay.
you'd rather lose both your corners.
I would rather lose Bradbury and Slay.
Because
than
we
lose
still
Rams.
have Avonte Maddox, but he's been injury prone. And then
you
we have the
also
10th
have-
overall pick.
Yeah, you also have a 10th.
At that point, we began a quarterback or a cornerback.
If
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
if you guys lose Slay and CJ, I just think your secondary just went from very
I don't
strong
think
to
that
like,
happens. Though.
probably like bottom 15 like secondary in the league. Like you're probably
Well,
going
because we just lost Marcus Epps to the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
They just signed him. That's it. I mean, I didn't like Epps, but Epps is also a veteran when it comes to Philly. Knows what he's doing. Knows sort of what he's doing. I don't think he's that good, but I mean,
You know who's
we have that Blankenship guy.
I feel like
Which I
with the
think-
Eagles,
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah,
with the
I think
Eagles,
they just do something with him.
bet.
Go ahead, Eddie.
I feel like the Eagles' best bet is getting rid of Slay, getting all that cap space. They have to extend Hurts. They have to extend Hurts. So first they got to pay Hurts his money. Then they gotta. I feel like they gotta get rid of Slay, get that cap space. They have the 10th overall pick. So what I feel like they would do, if they're gonna have to get a cornerback. So what I think they're probably gonna do is draft Christian Gonzalez from Oregon or Calais Ringo from Cincinnati.
What about
And then
Joey Porter?
Or Joey Porter, yeah. And put him as number 1 or 2. Put him at number 2 or number 1 because I feel like they're going to just keep Bradbury for cheap, get rid of Slay for the cap space, and then hope.
There's no way we get Bradbury for cheap, dude.
Yeah, they ain't. He's seeking money, dude. That's why it's so iffy with him. They would
Because this might be his last big
Yeah.
payday. We paid him 1 year, 11 mil. He's gonna go on seek, dude, like 15 to 18 mil.
Did he play that good last year?
Yeah, he was an All Pro.
Bradbury was an All Pro, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, and when he was a Giant, I'm pretty sure he was like second team All Pro. So and he played corner and safety when he was a Giant. He was a freak, dude.
Yeah, he did.
They just released him because of cap casualty.
That's why so many people were high on him because he was dynamic.
Yeah, but he didn't play safety for us at all.
No.
I mean, I don't know. I'm happier to see you guys lose Slay than I am Bradbury. I'd rather you lose Slay. If I had to pick one, I'm taking Slay off the Eagles.
Slay's that locker room guy.
Yeah, he is.
Slay's a locker room guy. I know we just brought back Brandon Graham, which is pretty cool. I mean, he had an 11 sack season. We signed him. He could have chased a bag too. Could have got like a two year over like 11 to $15 million deal somewhere, like 15 mil a year, I think. But he signed ultimately cheap. I think Fletcher Cox doesn't come back unless he signs like a 1 year like $3 million deal at tops.
Yeah, I don't.
It's sad though. You're seeing Philly fold and crumble ultimately, and now Howie has to work his magic. What I thought would be smart is you have that 10th overall pick and you also have the 32nd. I think, right? Yeah, we have the 32nd. You can go and make trades, or the 31st. You can go and make these trades, dude, and bolster ultimately your like priorities. Like have more equity in it by making these trades, but I think we're going to go and take a corner with Joey Porter Jr. at the 10th overall pick.
But you know what sucks is you guys can't make any free agency moves.
No. This is normally how it is for us, dude. We don't really – the last time we made really big free agency moves was when DeMarco Murray was there.
Yeah.
We haven't really signed like star free agency.
All the Eagles really need, they could get done during the draft. Like
Yeah.
their D line is going to be fine. You know, they lost Javon Hargrave, but that's what they got Jordan Davis for. So hopefully he'll be in the second year. He comes through.
And they're high on Milton Williams too.
Yeah, no Williams, and they lost T.J. Edwards, but that's what they got Nakobe Dean for, coming in the second year. So all they really need to worry about is their secondary, and whatever they do with C.J., Slay, Bradbury, whatever. They're going to keep at least one of them.
I think ultimately why Bradbury and CJ aren't signing right now in free agency, which I think obviously those two would have been like some of the first gone because they're the high up. I think, dude, that they're waiting for Philly, you know, and they're ultimately hoping Philly can make a move to get them back. That's what I think.
Me
I'm
too.
just I'm just waiting for my phone to buzz here, and get a little Bobby Wagner D-Hop action, and then I'll be having
We'll
cheers.
see that. We'll see that tonight, and we'll follow back up on Thursday with more. Thank you for tuning in. Go check out the merch on the store, and thank you guys for tuning in. Have a good one. Let's see free agency.